Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Employment Law. This is an employment podcast brought to you by the Neave Employment Law team. In this podcast, we are taking a look at the latest in New Zealand employment law and what you need to know to manage the greatest resource in your business, and that is your people. My name is Elise Wilson and I'm a solicitor in the Christchurch office, and today I'm joined by Hannah Martin, who is a senior associate in the employment team. But not only is Hannah a senior associate, she is also the mother of her beautiful new daughter, Isabella, and so Hannah has experienced first-hand parental leave while also being a very knowledgeable expert in employment law. So for the next few episodes, we are going to be taking a closer look at the intricacies of parental leave and some of the legal obligations here that employers need to be aware of.
Thanks, Elise. Obviously, I'm Hannah, and I was recently promoted to senior associate while on parental leave, looking after Isabella. So she's the one who's got first-hand knowledge of parental leave in action, I think, and only has good things to say. So as Elise mentioned, the next four episodes, we're taking a look at the Parental Leave and Employment Protection Act. The first episode focuses on the types of leave and the terminology used in the Act. But before we kick off, please remember that this is just general information. Hopefully it sparks some questions and discussion points for you. It's definitely not a comprehensive statement of the law. If you require specific legal advice, please get in touch.
Great, thanks Hannah. And so we will be taking a look at the Parental Leave and Employment Protections Act, which is 1987. So this governs the parental leave obligations in New Zealand. It is a fairly dated piece of legislation, but some amendments have been made over the years to make sure that it reflects some more of the societal changes that are happening in this area. And so this piece of legislation does provide for some minimum entitlements in terms of leave for employees, but it does not put an obligation on employers to provide paid leave for their employees. Although, as we will discuss soon, some employers do go above and beyond in this area. So the Parental Leave Act encompasses 5 different types of parental leave. These are often simply just referred to as parental leave, but there are different types of leave that fall under this. So firstly, we've got special leave, then we've got your primary care leave, which is your paid parental leave, and then we've got partners leave, negotiated carer leave, and also your extended leave. So we're going to go through each of these and break them down a little bit more.
Thanks, Elise. Before I kick off, I just want to say that people born in 1987 aren't dated, but this Act definitely is. So we're going to start by looking at primary care leave, and as the name suggests, this is to be taken by the primary care of the child. Now the Act, the Parental Leave and Employment Protection Act, defines this as the biological mother or effectively someone who's taking primary care of a child under the age of 6, either by, for example, whāngai or adoption. Parental leave, primary care leave, is to be taken for 26 continuous weeks, and usually it is elected to start on the due date of the baby or the arrival of the child. However, it can be directed earlier, to start earlier by a doctor, or it can start earlier if an employee is no longer able to carry out her role. Now, I mentioned that the primary care leave period needs to continue continuously for 26 weeks. There is currently one exception to that, which we discuss in episode 4. For this 26-week period as well, the government currently pays or funds the parental leave payment scheme, and there is no obligation on an employer to pay their employee while they're on parental leave. And as Elise will discuss in a bit more detail soon, employees have the option of implementing policies to increase someone's entitlements over and above those in the Act, and that's becoming more and more common.
Thanks, Hannah. Yeah, like Hannah said, the minimum entitlements in the Parental Leave Act do not mean that extra benefits or policies, workplace policies to support employees who are having children can't be implemented, but it just means that no policies can be implemented that give employees anything less than what the Act provides for. So the second type of leave that the Act provides is special leave. So this is up to 10 days that a pregnant employee can take for reasons related to her pregnancy. So this can include doctor's appointments or midwife scans, things like this. So these days are unpaid, but they are in addition to an employee's sick leave and annual leave entitlements.
Yeah, so that brings us to the third type of leave, which is partner's leave, and that's pretty straightforward. That is leave that can be taken by the partner or spouse of a primary carer generally on the arrival or birth of a child. How long the partner can take off really depends on how long they've been working for the employer. So there are employment tests outlined in the Parental Leave and Employment Protection Act, which pretty much govern all of the entitlements to the leave and the duration of those entitlements. So if someone's been working continuously for 6 months preceding the arrival or birth of the child, they can take 1 week partner's leave. If it's 12 months, they can take 2 weeks. Now this leave is unpaid, so often partners or spouses choose to take annual leave if they have it available. Because the partner's leave is in addition to other leave types provided to employees under the Holidays Act. But what is important to note is that they don't hold on to this entitlement. It has to be used within 21 days of the birth of the child or the arrival of the child, but it actually can also be used 21 days preceding that date as well. It can't be taken, partner's leave cannot be taken if someone has had the primary carer leave entitlement transferred to them.
Thanks, Hannah. And now we've also got the last two types of parental leave, which are entitlements for extended leave or negotiated carer leave.
Yeah, that's right. So in New Zealand, the length of extended leave that someone can take, again, depends on which of the employment tests they meet. So if they've been working up to 6 months for an employer, they can get 26 weeks in extended leave. And if they've been working for 12 months, they can take, or 12 months or more, they can take an additional 26 weeks, so 52 weeks in total. If someone, however, has taken primary carer leave, then that 26-week period is deducted from the 52-week period. So, for example, at the moment, I'm coming to the end of my 26 weeks of primary carer leave, and so I have an additional 26 weeks of extended leave available for me to use. Extended leave can be shared between partners or spouses, but they can't take that at the same time. It can be taken, as in my case, after I've taken primary care leave, and it can be taken at the same time as partner's leave. Extended leave is one of the more trickier types of leave to get your head around under the Act, and it's constantly raising questions for people. So if you do have any questions about it or just want to check something off, please give us a call.
Thanks, Hannah. And so if employees do not meet the requirements for these types of leave, for example, an employee hasn't been employed for more than 6 months, then they will be able to apply for negotiated carer leave. And so this is something that they'll have to go into negotiations with their employer for, and there is not necessarily any minimum entitlements for leave that are provided for in the Act. But we do recommend that good faith is followed here, and that if you do have any questions, that you seek advice. So thanks for joining us for this episode. We hope that you found it useful taking a look at the different types of leave that are often just classed as parental leave, but as you can probably see, there's a bit more to it. And as we've mentioned, this is quite a complex area, so please don't hesitate to reach out for some further advice. In the next episode, we are going to be taking a look at your legal obligations when it comes to employees who are expecting and how you can best look after them in the workplace.